Hey everyone, I want to make a video about diet and the understanding of the foods that we eat and we choose to eat. I've had a lot of people talk to me and message me about this diet, that diet, this not working, that not working. I've tried everything and I'm not losing any weight, or comments like that. And the problem is not necessarily you, and the problem necessarily isn't the food. It's your perception of yourself and how you perceive food. And if you don't perceive food the proper way, then you're not going to have a grasp on your perception of self and what foods do and don't do to you. So when people say, oh, I've tried this diet, I've tried that diet, it works, it doesn't work, 9 times out of 10 they say it doesn't work. And that's because they haven't educated themselves, or they haven't been educated by the right personal trainer or teacher or coach or program. They just say, eat this, don't eat that, and whatnot. And that's when cravings happen. That's when loss of control happens. That's when binge eating happens. And they seem to really lose a handle on things. And a lot of times people do pretty good throughout the day. And then at evening, a lot of times, evenings are when people have those cravings. And they act on them. Whether they have a bag of chips, or they have a bag of cookies, or they have a slice of cake or two, or ice cream, or chocolate, or pasta, or bread, garlic bread, Caesar salad. You notice the similarity and the commonalities of those? They're all really rich in carbs. And those cravings don't mean you're necessarily hungry. First of all, it's a sign of dehydration. And secondly, it's a blood sugar imbalance. Normally it's a dip. And by adopting a high-fat, moderate protein diet with very low carbohydrates, you're going to normalize that blood sugar, and you're not going to allow the surges and dips in blood sugar, thus creating those urges. So when you have a control on that, you're going to have a control on your mood and the likeliness of, succumbing to those urges. But really, you're not going to have those urges if you have an education on food, if you have a perception on self and food. So the biggest thing of perception is, don't compare yourself to others. Don't look at, oh, that person's doing this person's doing that, she has abs, he has abs, or whatever the case may be. Don't compare yourself, because you're just going to beat yourself into a brick wall. Like, there's no point in doing that. Never, ever, ever compare yourself. But what you do need to do is change your perception on self. You need to fall in love with yourself. You got to be so happy with yourself. And if you succumb to those cravings, or if you have a bad day and you fail on one day, you got to say to yourself, it's okay. I'm going to recover and win for the rest of the week. And I always say this to all my clients: win more than lose. 7 days in the week, if you lose 2 days, you got to win 5. Never lose more than you win, because then you're out of the series. So if you have a shitty day, that's all right. You got to recognize it, and you got to work harder the following day. Because if you don't, that perpetuates into a downward spiral of more losing, more carbohydrate binging. You can't do that. So that's why, if you've got a real good control on your diet, then you're going to allow yourself, and you're going to plan for those strategic days and meals and whatnot throughout the course of the week, where you can reward yourself. But if you're having, 2 bags of cookies a week, or 2 bags of chips a week, or 3 plates of pasta a week, if you're not eating fermented foods at least once a day, if you're not eating at least 2 servings of greens, 3 servings of greens every day, if you're not drinking lots of water, you have a problem, okay? And the problem is your perception. The problem is you're not being accountable to yourself, and you're letting excuses and whatnot dictate who you are. So you gotta change that. The moment you perceive yourself as being very, very valuable, the moment you perceive yourself as more important than those other people that you're comparing yourself to, the moment you perceive food as being fuel for your body, not an enjoyment, is the exact same moment you're gonna have control over your body and your situation and your surroundings. So I guess what I want to say is, or the plot to this video, is you need to be very comfortable and confident in yourself. I don't care if you're 300 pounds or 140 pounds soaking wet, if you're a guy or a girl, whatever. Who gives a shit? The point of the matter is, you gotta be confident and happy with yourself, knowing that you have control and you dictate what goes in your mouth. Not urges, not cravings, nothing like that. Why? Because you perceive yourself as being valuable. And although some of those foods taste really fucking awesome, you have to perceive those foods as not fundamentally important, and they're not going to benefit you. Okay? So it's almost like, how does your body act on food, and how does food act on you? You should never have food acting on you. You have to act on food, right? So good clean diet, low carbs, high fat, moderate protein. Do that for a while, and then treat yourself once in a while. We're all allowed to cheat, but if you're cheating every day, you're cheating yourself, and you're allowing for excuses to happen. So I don't want you to have excuses. I need you to change your perception on self and change your perception on food and love yourself. Be confident and no longer compare yourself to others, because that's just fucking bullshit. You can't do that. You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna beat yourself up. I never compare myself to others. Let them do them. You do you. And at the end of the day, you're gonna be so much more happier and confident because you're not comparing yourself to anyone else. It's just you in the mirror. And you gotta love yourself. Literally. Because when you love yourself, you're gonna take better care of yourself. And if you don't love yourself, that's when those addictions start to happen. That's when drugs, alcohol, binge eating, not being hydrated, drinking lots of coffee, lots of Red Bull, all of that nonsense, all the bad food that you shouldn't be eating, you're only consuming that because you don't perceive yourself as valuable. So change your perception, love yourself, treat yourself like a Ferrari. You would never see some guy or girl filling up their Ferrari with regular unleaded fuel. You would see that Ferrari at Sunoco filling up with Ultra 94, right? There's a reason. You gotta treat yourself like a finely tuned machine. And when you do that, you're gonna start to perform and think like a finely tuned machine. Productivity goes up, awareness goes up, everything goes up. Okay, so put value on yourself. Value on yourself. Love you. Work hard for you. Okay, hope this video has some merit. And I got another half hour on this stair climber, so in good health and good spirit.